Just imagine, you're on the New York subway, phone in hand, earphones in, music playing. You're scrolling through your messages, replying as usual, when suddenly you feel someone staring at you. You look up and there's a man sitting across from you. Long hair, sunburned skin, eyes full of fear, like someone who's just stepped out of a cave. Now, imagine he's not alone. There are 100,000 of them. Picture it, 100,000 humans from 10,000 years ago suddenly appearing in the middle of the 21st century. The question is, how would the world react? Or better yet, how would we react? You know, back then, the Earth had no internet, no agriculture, no glass towers, not even a damn New York subway. They were still in the age of fire, stone, and the hunt. Now, drop those same people into a world built from silicon and light, artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, rockets flying into space. What would they understand? What would they feel? And most importantly, what would we do with them? If this really happened, our civilization might be the one more shocked because genetically, they're almost identical to us. Their brains work like ours. Their bodies weren't much different. Only their experiences set them apart. Thousands of years of life without technology, without laws, without even an Instagram filter. So let's go back 10,000 years ago to when the last ice age was melting away and the first villages were just beginning to form. A time when our story didn't end, it began. Collision of two eras. Imagine this. You wake up on an ordinary morning, get ready for work, scroll through social media, and suddenly everyone's sharing the same unbelievable video. A group of people dressed in animal skins, holding stone tools, standing in the middle of the Kazakh desert, staring in pure terror at a flying drone. The caption reads, "They came from the past." Within hours, it turns out it's not just one group, all around the world. In Africa, South America, Siberia, even Australia, about 100,000 humans from the Stone Age have appeared out of nowhere. No modern tools, no explanation. The media goes insane. Scientists are baffled, governments terrified. Some say it's the apocalypse. Others claim it's a secret NASA experiment. But from a scientific point of view, something far more dangerous is happening. Their bodies have zero immunity to the modern world. A simple cold could kill them. And at the same time, they might carry ancient bacteria we no longer recognize. Emergency quarantines are declared. The WHO, CDC, and the UN rushed to set up isolation camps in remote deserts far from any cities to prevent contact at all costs. The world holds its breath. And then, one surreal moment goes viral. A man from the group sees his reflection in a car window, screams, and runs away. As if for the first time in human history, someone just met themselves. The internet explodes. Everyone's asking, what did he see in that reflection that scared him so much? But the strangest part, neurologically, they're just like us. Not slower, not dumber, just shaped by a different world. If one of them had been born and raised today, they could have become a doctor, a programmer, or even a TikTok creator. Imagine that, a caveman influencer with his own meme series. So now the real question isn't where they came from, it's how do we live with them now? Is it actually possible for 100,000 people from the past to suddenly appear in our time? The short answer, no. The long one, no, but it would be fascinating to know what it would take. From a physics standpoint, moving matter from one point in time to another is a nightmare. You have to transfer every single particle in a human body with its exact position in space and time from that era to this one. One physicist once said, you need as much energy as the sun produces in a whole day just to move one person. Meaning, to teleport even a single human, you'd basically have to build a small star. Now imagine doing that for 100,000 people. Earth would melt before they even arrive, even if you try to be more scientific about it. Let's say through some kind of time bubble or quantum freeze. There's still a problem. Time isn't like water. You can't just step out of it. The atoms in our bodies constantly exchange energy with their surroundings. To pause someone in time, you'd have to stop all those interactions without the body collapsing. That's not physics anymore, That's physical magic. But fine, let's assume science somehow breaks all those limits. Let's imagine a crazy future project that actually manages to pull people out of the archives of space-time and drops them right into the 21st century. That's when the real problems begin. Not in physics, but in ecology and society. Because 100,000 new humans means a whole city's worth of needs. Each person would require roughly 2,500 calories and 50 liters of water per day. That's over 15 tons of food and 5 million liters of water every single day. They'd need at least 3 square kilometers just for basic housing. And we haven't even mentioned sanitation, power, or communication yet. So yeah, even if physics said yes, ecology would probably say no thanks. And action when the past fell from the sky. It's a quiet morning. Birds are singing, the sun's half hidden behind the clouds. People are heading to work. Just another ordinary day. Until suddenly, the world decides not to be ordinary anymore. Notifications go off, phones start buzzing, and the internet loses its mind. A video surfaces from Africa. A group of people with tangled hair and animal skin clothes standing in the middle of a plain, staring in fear at a flying drone. The caption reads, "They came from the past." Oh no. Hours later, more videos appear from Kazakhstan, the Amazon, Australia, even Alaska. The world is suddenly filled with humans who look like someone hit the factory reset button on evolution. And then, a breaking headline flashes on CNN. 100,000 ancient humans have appeared simultaneously across the planet. The media explodes. The internet floods with conspiracy theories. Some claim it's a military experiment. Others say aliens did it. And one Twitter user posts, "So, do we need to get them SIM cards now?" But scientists only have one thing to say. We need to act fast. Translation, we have no idea what's happening, but we're trying to sound calm. Within 24 hours, the UN launches a global initiative called Project Human Echo. Doctors in hazmat suits, psychologists, linguists, an army of modern minds trying to talk to the past. They don't understand any modern language. They communicate through short sounds and hand gestures, like music made of motion. From their perspective, this world is a blinding, deafening nightmare. Cars are iron monsters. Skyscrapers are glass mountains. And the nights are as bright as day. Some run, some hide, and some just stare. One of them looks up, sees an airplane crossing the sky. A few seconds later, he drops to his knees, covers his ears. The first human, after 10,000 years, to be afraid of the sky again. And us, we just watched in 4K. Hashtag back to basics. It's been 3 months. Those 100,000 ancient humans are no longer a mystery. They've become just another item on the daily news, right next to traffic updates and the rising dollar rate. The media calls them time migrants. Some live in training camps in Kazakhstan, others in research centers across Europe, and a few are probably still trying to figure out how power outlets work. Here's the unbelievable part. Their learning speed, it's terrifyingly fast. People who once used stones and sticks are now playing with tablets. One scientist said one of them actually tried to charge his tablet with a potato and almost succeeded. One of them, a woman in her 30s from the African group, learned the alphabet in just 3 months. The first sentence she ever wrote was simple but profound. This world has many sounds. The sky is no longer dark. That single line went viral worldwide, and people commented beneath it, "I wish we could see the sky again too." From that moment, scientists stopped seeing them as specimens. They started seeing them as mirrors, reflecting what we've become and what we've lost. Honestly, if I were there, I think I'd just melt from embarrassment. Imagine your ancestor standing in front of you, not saying a word, just staring, with a look that seems to say, "Seriously, all this progress just to keep scrolling?" One day, one of them asked a translator, "Why do you not fight the earth?" Yet the earth runs away from you. And there was a silence so deep, even the recording device didn't dare make a sound. In the US, a company called Origin X launched a project teaching the history of civilization to ancient humans using VR and real-time AI translation. Its goal? to merge their primal instincts with modern knowledge, to rediscover the core of human nature. Of course, the beta version caused one of them to start a fistfight with a virtual dinosaur. But hey, that's progress. And the internet, as always, operating at its peak level of scientific seriousness. Memes, reaction videos, jokes. Cavemen react to TikTok hit 300 million views in just 48 hours. In the middle of one video, one of them asks, "Why do people dance so much with their hands?" And the internet exploded. Some people laugh, some are scared, but a few quietly say, maybe they're more real than we are. So, you've made it this far with me. Tell me, if this really happened, do you think we could live with them? Type below, "I accept," or "I'm afraid." Let's see which team wins. 6 months have passed, and the world is still dizzy. People have slowly learned how to sip their morning coffee next to 100,000 Stone Age humans. But governments, not so calm. The US, China, Russia, the European Union, everyone wants their share of the phenomenon, because no one wants to lose access to a living source of history. But behind all the politics and competition, there's one thing lurking quietly: fear. Because they're not just people. They're a reminder that humanity can survive without electricity, without money, without technology. Which means maybe everything we're so proud of isn't as necessary as we thought. Oh boy! Meanwhile, a new cultural wave sweeps across the planet. These ancient humans, unintentionally, become the faces of a global movement. Its name, Return to the Roots. People start dressing simpler. Fashion goes minimalist. Every brand claims its new line is mammoth skin inspired. Then a single interview goes viral. A man from the Siberian group, speaking in broken English, says, "You have filled the world with noise, but emptied yourselves." The quote explodes. Hashtag Echo of Origin hits 1.2 billion views in 3 days. A rapper samples the line in a track, and it becomes the anthem of a new generation. And here's the wild part. Within 6 months, global consumer spending drops by 4%. Not out of fear, out of awareness. People start buying less, chasing fewer brands, breathing more. One headline sums it up perfectly: the generation that stopped shopping after meeting the Stone Age. But politicians, they know it's no longer a joke, because some of those ancient humans are now speaking basic English and talking about things like a world without borders and shared water. Yeah, we're still fighting over borders, and they're already writing the philosophy of unity. Across several countries, movements rise with a simple slogan: we all came from the same pie. And for the first time in history, the past begins to lead the future. But behind the scenes, a new crisis is unfolding. Doctors in one of the camps notice symptoms that don't match any known virus. Lab results confirm it. Some of them carry something the world hasn't seen in 8,000 years. They call it the frozen virus. And once again, fear spreads, because maybe it wasn't just humans who came from the past. Maybe something else came with them. The first casualty is one of their own, a young woman who stopped eating, terrified of the modern world. When she died, headlines read, "First death by cultural shock." But the truth was far more tragic. She hadn't starved. She'd simply forgotten how to breathe in the age of progress. DNA of time. A year has passed since the day the past returned to the present. But the world still hasn't settled down. Scientists now have a mission more fascinating than any sci-fi movie ever imagined: to uncover the secrets hidden in the DNA of the ancient humans. And the first results? Shocking. In some samples, they found genes modern humans no longer have. Genes for stronger immunity, higher heat tolerance, and even sharper photographic memory. A team at MIT has launched a project called Regenesis, the Rebirth, which basically means human version 1.0 reinstalled, but with a cooler name. For now, it's purely theoretical, no real evidence yet, but scientifically, it might be possible to reactivate those lost genes. And that's where the real debate begins. Are we playing with evolution? Or are we simply restoring our own backup? One group of scientists wants to merge ancient and modern DNA to create a more resilient version of humanity. Others protest. They're human beings, not a genetic project. The clash between science and ethics has never burned hotter. Meanwhile, something far more human happens. Some of the ancient peoples fall in love with modern ones. And soon, the first hybrid child is born. They name her Array. meaning return in their reconstructed language. The world watches her birth live. Doctors cry. People flood the internet with the hashtag Welcome Array, a tiny baby, the bridge between two timelines. And everyone asks the same question. Who is Array? The future or the past? But one final mystery remains. fMRI scans reveal that the ancient humans react much more strongly to the sounds of nature, wind, rain, birds, than to the noises of modern cities. One scientist says, maybe they're still tuned to the Earth's frequency, something we've long since disconnected from. And maybe, just maybe, he's right, because if their minds are still in sync with the voice of the planet, then maybe we still have a chance to hear it again before the signal fades forever. It's been 3 years. Those 100,000 ancient humans aren't strangers anymore. Some have become citizens, some researchers, and some still choose to live where the air smells more like Earth than Wi-Fi. But something unexpected happened. We started learning from them. After thousands of years, the students became the ancestors. At top universities around the world, new courses have appeared. Primitive intelligence. In these classes, professors sit beside ancient humans, learning how to think with the body. They show how to read the sky and predict rain, how to sense direction from the smell of soil, and how to find your way without Google Maps. One professor said, they don't just see nature, they hear it. And he was right, because we spent years listening only to notification sounds, not the wind. A new term has entered psychology, the root effect. It describes what happens when modern humans live like their ancestors, even for a few days. Their brains reset. One study showed that after just 3 days without electricity or phones, stress levels dropped by 70%. Participants said they felt like they'd relearned how to breathe. One of them even said, it was hard at first, but then I realized my body still has a battery. In New York, there's now a park called Echo Valley, a living space where ancient humans dwell, and modern visitors can spend a few hours living like them. No phones, no clocks, no power, just human and Earth. And believe me, the peace there feels more real than any meditation app you've ever downloaded. Even music has changed. A new genre has emerged, origin sound, fusion of ancient instruments, human heartbeat, and the whisper of wind. One track, Before Words, went viral on Spotify because people said it awakened something deep inside them, something civilization had silenced long ago. And me, if you ever go there and hear the slow echoing drums of the ancients, you'll understand there's still a part of you that belongs to the time when the Earth breathed more softly. The world is quieter now, not because tech advanced, but because we learned to live simply again. Seeing those ancient humans was like looking in a mirror, a reminder of who we were, and maybe still are. Science brought the past into the present, but they, without tools, awakened the future inside us. We dreamed of Mars, but forgot how to breathe on Earth. Imagine sitting under the stars in Echo Valley, beside an ancient man who doesn't share your language, only the feeling of being human. And in that silence, you understand the difference between us isn't who we are, it's only time. Maybe they'll never return, but their echoes live in us, our instincts, our fears, our dreams. If we make peace with those ancient parts of ourselves, we won't need time travel because we'll create the return ourselves.